welcome to Unsealed and Revealed, the Home Edition. We are doing this here from my house. I've always thought it'd be fun to have you come on over and play with the toys here in my home, and so now we get that opportunity. Right now I want to talk to you about what we're looking at today. Today is from ThreeA, the die-cast Transformers Bumblebee Optimus Prime. This is how Optimus Prime looked in the feature film Bumblebee, which hopefully you've seen. It's a great film. But we're going to take him out. I'm going to try and show you everything I can about him. Let's first take a look at the box. I'm not sure if you're able to tell via my home camera here, but the black on the box is actually done as kind of an asphalt. It kind of has that road look, okay? And the Autobot logo around there. Your back there, here, all of your information on the front, and this is a window box. It does have a single magnet open. On the side here, you're going to see a photo of the figure, and it is a window box. So we are going to jump right ahead, take this thing out of the box, and tell you all about it. All right, so here's what we have right inside of our tray. This is a double layered tray, but what I want you to take a look at, now I've taken the plastic off the figure. There's going to be a little bit of plastic that's going to be over each of these, and one that goes over his entire body. But take a look at this detail. That's what is so impressive to me. Right in here, you're getting that pitting, the dirt, the grime, scratches, the oil marks, all of that on the figure. The amazing detail that's been done with this particular figure is astounding. And I'm kind of glad to be able to do it this way, to kind of work my way down and show it to you. Just how incredible that detail is. So in your top tray is Optimus, then his weapon. All right, now take a look at that. Again, the dry brushing and the beat up wear on there is amazing. The top tray also is going to have his additional hands. All right, and we'll talk about each one of those as well. Our lower tray is going to have our dynamic stand base, or action stand base. And this thing is pretty unique, and I'm going to show you how that goes together and what you're able to do with it. The other thing that's going to come in the box for you is your warranty sheet, which is a unique one. And then, of course, my absolute favorite, instruction manual. And we're going to take a peek at that as well as the figure in just a moment. Now, your stand here is going to allow for a lot of different positioning. All right, it's going to lock in the back. You're going to hear that click, and then the front one, and that will click. All right, and here's where you've got some interesting parts about this stand. Right down here, you see, you lift up, and you can put that at different angles. All right, and once we have the figure attached, you're going to see different ways that it can go. And then you'll drop that thing back down to lock. All right. Once you've got that where you like it, you also have another one here. You're going to pull back, and that releases it to extend out. All right? The upper area is where you're going to attach your figure. Now take a look here. You're going to slide this out, and on the top and in here are going to be your grooves. All right? This doesn't spin when you're inside there, so you're going to have to remove it and then place it where you want it, okay? Ratcheting it around, all that's going to do is grind these down, and then your figure is no longer going to stay in the position you want. All right, so as you see, push it in and I've locked it there, or extended all the way up, wherever you need it to be. Now let's take a look at how that stand works with the figure. All right, so this is how you're going to attach your stand. This is all in the instructions, and I'm going to show you that sheet a little bit later. But on the back of Optimus, right here, okay, you're going to have this little bit here. Gently pull that off, like so, and you're going to be putting your stand in, like so. All right? Then, like I told you, how it goes in there. And as you can see, that thing's got some serious weight to it. Boom. Placing it where I need it. All right? If I wanted to have it upward, locking it in. Things like that, probably going to want to push the weight back a little further if you do. Realize that you're going to have a figure that's a little bit heavy on there. But that is how you're going to attach it. If you don't want to use the stand, he holds up fine on his own. Make sure to put the back cap on. That's silver facing upward. I'm not so sure I'll be using the stand. You are going to be amazed at the posability of the figure, but even in what we call the standard museum pose, he is pretty fantastic. So what I'd like to do now is we're going to work from our top down and look at some of the articulation points, and then we're going to try and zoom in a few times and look at some of those really incredible detailed sections. First up, what is kind of neat to see is when you have your instructions, what they've done on the instructions here is on each moving point, you see a little circle. Okay, those are all your articulation points mapped out for you. It's a nice thing to know where they are, so you're not trying to turn it in a place that maybe it wouldn't normally be. All right, but let's work up here. Shoulders are articulated as such, and so are the little back flaps. Now, when they're attached on like that, it's fine. If they come loose or disengaged, they snip back on. Okay, like so. All right. But know that anytime you're going to move the arms, you're going to want to kind of lift those up. Now, when I've been moving this figure, you're going to get a little bit of oil you'll feel on your hands, and that's fine. At least that's the way it is on mine, and I think that's to make sure that the joints all move nicely and smoothly, and I appreciate it. I'm happy to have it move freely. All right, so our arm sections here, we get a full rotation on your bicep cut. Your arm, you also get a full turn. So you get some serious arm wrestling moves there. In that shoulder area, I moved that forward, and I want you to see on the back here how that moved out. All right? Boom. And that's why I'm telling you to just move this out of the way, and then you can place it back wherever you like. There are some flaps on the legs that are about the same way as far as making sure that you adjust them first. All right. Now, because I've got it at the back here, this is what impressed the heck out of me with this guy here, is not only that detail here, but the posability. And watch when I bend him forward, how far it extends and shows even more detail. Okay, that's a really, really impressive amount of movement to get into that. And I hope you can see a close-up there of just how great the detail, the aging, all of the metal parts, boom, and how it'll close back in. All right, let's work our way down and talk about movements to the side. All right, now the chest does move, but not a lot, all right? But it does move back and forth to the side, okay? Now, here's where you do have a huge amount of movements, and that's in the hips. There are two flaps in the front here, two on the sides, and then two in the back. I want you to know that that's where each one is, so when you're doing your leg movements. This has some of the best range I've seen in a figure, particularly a die-cast figure, that you're going to want to move those out of the way when you're doing it. So if I'm going to move these off to the side, let's take a look at just how far Optimus Prime can go. Absolutely impressive. It's really, really crazy. And that's again why I told you to be careful of those there. All 6 of these clips are on a little ball joint. So if when you move one pops off, they do snap right back on. All right, but let's take a look at how they'll move to the front. Once I've got those fully extended like that, we're going to show a little bit more in the hip. We've seen this on some of our other die-cast figures where it will drop down. Okay, you see that I pulled that a little bit and extended it. Now the reason I've extended that like that, I'm going to take this front flap, lift that up as far as I can, and I can take this leg crank it past 90 degrees. This is that little flap I told you about, and if we zoom in there, you can see there's a little ball joint. Okay, I'm going to snap that back on, but I wanted you to see just how far up you can take these. Now that we've got that there, let's show how we can crank down. And what's really neat is when you're doing these movements is the underlying metal pieces that come out, that transformation, so we say. Okay, so you've got that all the way to the back leg. Switch that, and I can flip it all the way back. All right, crazy amount of articulation on that there. Once you've got that where you want it, obviously drop back the leg by pushing upward on the hip. All right, but since we have it here, we're gonna do, that's right, time for tread watch. Very, very impressive tread on this, on a robot. All right, and again, even some aging in that area. And let's take and show you the other one. So there is our tread watch on Optimus Prime. Now let's take a look at the articulation points on that foot. You're going to have them in the front that'll raise up, and you also have it jointed to give you some movement to the side and back. All right. Flap there in the back with the hydraulics does move. All right, that's to show you that there. I'm going to drop the other leg down so he can stand here. But again, just absolutely amazing. Now, let's see if you can see from the back there. That's what it looks like with your hip joint drop down, and that's with it fully up. You're going to do it, just hold down and press in the point. Boom. All right. Because I dropped one of those front panels off, I told you I wanted to show you. Little ball joint there. Lay my Optimus Prime down. Press. And right back on. All right. So don't think that you've broken it if they drop down. We were talking about taking a look at some of that detail. What I want to show you is the detail in the legs, the tires, and things like that. Again, just this aging, that bit of oil, the scratches, the road dirt, the warrior aspect. The tires are mounted on here. They do not move. They feel like they might have a bit of a rubberized thing, but they do not spin. But look how they've even given those a nice wash with a bit of the dirt to give it some road wear on there. Just really, really spectacular in that one there. What you get. Now he does have a light up feature. All right. When you're going to do that, we're going to pan right back up here to the head. Okay. Ball jointed head. And see if we can lift the camera up here to kind of show a little bit of the neck. That when we move it to the side, not only do we have the ball joint that moves, but underneath is a second ball joint, kind of the lower region of the neck. All right. So we're moving here that even this area here, as you can see, moves. So my left to right goes there. I have a left to right in the center and the point. So here's our Optimus head. For the light up feature on this one here, on the very back, I'm going to lift that straight up. This is a little different than we've seen on some of the other figures. It has a little carriage inside. Okay, for your batteries. You'll lift that up and out. Like so, okay? Now this, and it shows in your instructions, has 2 of the AG13. Now that type of battery is given different names for different brands. But if you were to look up AG13, they're available in drugstores and multiple shop areas. You're gonna put your 2 in there, slide them back down, and then clasp it back on. All right, you got them up there. I've placed the batteries in there, closed it back up, and right up on the front here is your on-off switch. Push that on, and I get my blue eyes. Again, there's more of that articulation that you're getting in that head. All right, it's a small light-up feature, but it is really neat and does bring even more life to him. I can't get over the amount of detail in this. I was a fan of Transformers when I was a kid and it first came out. I had my fighter plane and absolutely loved it. My friend had the Optimus Prime, but it didn't look anything like this. We'll get a turntable for some of our newer shows coming up, but I wanted you to see just, let's take a look and pan down just from the top to the bottom, because I showed you on the front, but just some of those gears that are on there. Absolutely amazing. Now the hands that our figure comes with are going to be his fists. That's what he has right out of the box. You do have additional hands. Now the hands are done out of a hard plastic, okay? This is not a soft rubber that we see in more of the humanoid looking hands, but I want to go over them and show you what those are like. All right, here are our different hands. These ones here are called the spread hands. These are relaxed hands. Weapons holding hands are these 2 here. And my favorite is this one here called the command hand. That's a phrase I hope that we get to use on more shows. But look, even in the details of the fingers, that dry brushing to give it that metal beaten look. All right. What I'm going to do since I have one of these out is use this weapon holding hand. All right. And we're going to put the gun on. Let's take a look at some of the instructions I told you about. Tell you about your parts, your hands, your base. There's the battery function we went over, your arm and shoulder movement. What I like that they've done here is not only show you all of the different movement parts that you have, but also your different cautions about paint may scratch and just how to move things out of the way. They've done this little graphic of that's where you might have a problem, please be careful. All right, how all of your different legs move up, raising the legs here and here. Now here's one, I always like the instructions. Raise up the legs with turning angle to avoid collision with pants parts. So apparently Optimus Prime is wearing pants. I always love when you get ones like that. This is telling you more of the articulation and showing it off. This guy can do yoga style poses. And I know that Terry with How to Be a Poser is going to go absolutely bonkers to be able to see what this guy does. Now here I've placed his ion cannon into his weapon hand. I said that they were a harder plastic. They do have a bit of give to them, but be gentle and slow when you're doing those. I found it easier to get the hand in it first and then place the weapon in it, just because of the size of the weapon. while I've got the weapon here, I want to show you this, that yep, even the little clip comes out and has its round in there, that brass round there. Take a look at that dry brush and that metallic look to it. I've done just a small pose with one of the legs backward and one of them forward to show you how great his balance is. Okay, I don't need to do a lot with him as far as the stand if I'm going to have both feet on the ground. Here's another crazy one. We're gonna do this here just to finish up and show you a little bit of how wild the articulation is on Optimus. You don't have many robot figures that can just about touch their toes. I don't know of any others. At least I don't own any others. So, take a look at it here again. Incredible figure, amazing amount of articulation. For a die-cast figure like this, to be able to do all of this, and at the price point he's at, is pretty amazing. We spend a lot more on die-cast figures. And to get one like this, with just how intricate he is for that, is really, really impressive. So, there we are. Optimus Prime. Well, I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been fun to try and do this here at the home. If you have any questions, as I said, we're going to work on doing our best to answer those. But once again, thanks for joining Unsealed and Revealed, and don't forget to let your geek side show.
Be sure to subscribe by clicking the S icon on your screen and click that bell icon to be notified whenever a new video is posted. If you'd like more information on the items featured in this video, click the link provided under Product Info. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to let your geek side show.